it's a BMX special as we hear from Holstead international starlet Freya Chalice.
I'll be 20 when it's LA 2028, and that would be the absolute dream to be selected and represent the country.
In fact, I'll be bringing you more from Braintree BMX Club as I spent a fun evening meeting some of the younger talents at the club.
It's just really fun, the friends, and I just love to ride my bike. I just like doing jumps. Just got the love for the sport and it's just so fun.
I went to Braintree BMX Club to meet some of their homegrown talents. One of those is 18-year-old Freya Chalice, who's competing in her first senior season on the international stage. Freya is a 4-time junior world champion and has taken a step up to compete in the Women's Under-23 World Cup. The competition takes place across the year in different locations, and she had a brilliant start on after the first weekend across rounds 1 and 2. Freya was at the top of the table, but then she is still competing in that top level after 4 rounds and missed out on the Europeans, but she is going to be in the Worlds and she'll explain that shortly. We had a great chat on a sunny evening next to the banking turn at the top of the course at Braintree BMX Club about how that season has been going so far.
Last year I had to sit out of him due to an injury, and then coming into this year I had no expectations but enjoying myself with the older girls, and to take the win in my first final in the Under-23 girls was amazing, and back it up with another podium on day 2. Couldn't have gone any better. It was like no feeling before, and I'm just hungry to have that feeling again. Like, I can't put it into words.
And then on the Sunday, you finished third in that one, so it meant you were top overall after that first weekend. I mean, what were you feeling when you saw that?
I couldn't believe it, to be honest, to be leading the Under-23 Girls Series after the first 2 races. It was a dream come true. It was completely different turning up to this race, nothing like I've raced before, like the layout of racing to the TV schedule and breaks between it. It's quite intense, and it took a bit to get used to. The nerves on day 1 were so high, but day 2 I settled into it, and yeah, it was good.
The round 3 happened and you had a bit of an unfortunate incident in that.
I went in there leading the series and felt pretty confident on the track and really enjoyed it. I think I was pretty tired from the previous weekend and learnt from that to fuel in that week, and then come the final I just didn't get out the start gate, got a bit shut off, and I was off the bike flying through the air, and next thing I knew I was on the floor. So it's all learning. Split second and you can go from such a high to such a low, but it's the beauty of the sport.
I know on your Instagram page you then announced your decision to then not defend the title that you'd won at the European Championships. How tough a decision was that for you?
It was probably one of the hardest decisions I've made in my career. I'd set in that week to go to the European Champs, tried to ride my bike and I just couldn't. I knew I wasn't 100% and I'd be silly to go out there and put myself at risk and come away probably physically and mentally worse off. So took the decision to step down, stay home and commit to my rehab, and it's going well so far. From first hit, I was pretty sore and the injuries looked like they could have been worse than they were, and I got pretty lucky with it. And to be back now following a recovery regime from British Cycling, and it's going in a positive way, so yeah.
So when do people see you out on the track again?
Once this comes out, I'll be in Australia for the BMX World Championship. So coming off last year, I got 7th after a crash again in that race, so I'm hungry for more this year and try and get those rainbow stripes.
Just remind me, how old you are now, Freya?
So I turned 18 at the start of this year.
And how long have you been racing for now?
Been racing BMX since the age of 4, so yeah, pretty long time.
It's amazing. You've got so much experience, and then you speak with such confidence and maturity going into a world championship as well, but you must be really, really excited.
Yeah, definitely. Like growing up around the sport and growing up around riders like Beth Shriver who's come through Braintree Bullets, having those people to look up to and look up to and see what they're doing is amazing and definitely helps you along your path, so yeah.
I love the fact that in those interviews you could hear the whirring sound of the chain going around the bikes as some of the younger riders were going around the course, as I was speaking to Freya Chalice there about what sounds like it has certainly been a roller coaster of a season so far.
BBC Essex Sports Extra.
If you're just joining us, Warren Muggleton with you on BBC Essex. We're talking BMX bike racing, speaking to Freya Chalice, one of the top talents in the country, coming out of Braintree Bullets BMX Club. Now, spending the day down there, I really did get the sense that it was a tight-knit club, a real community feel. And Freya echoed those sentiments, and I asked her how being a part of it has shaped and changed her.
I think growing up around it, I've definitely seen myself mature over the years and making decisions like I had to last week about the Euro Champs that maybe 2 years ago I would have gone and raced and it wouldn't have gone to plan. So I think it's as you grow as an athlete and go into those elite classes, you've got to make those tough decisions for the future.
Yeah, it means that, like you say, you're going into the World Championships, you'll be back in World Cup action come October time as well. And I looked at it as well. I mean, you didn't compete in the round 4, but even still, you're still in 3rd. I mean, it says a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I was pretty shocked. So I crashed on the day 1 in the Netherlands, had to go up onto the podium as I still led the series, and I knew come round 4 that I would have dropped that series lead, but to still be in the top 3 is pretty amazing and sets me up good for the rest of the year.
I mean, how much do you love training here at Braintree as well?
I love it. It's so close to home as well, and when I've been away in season, I don't get to come here often, but when I can, I love popping down, showing my face and joining in with the club sessions. It reminds me of when I started and why I do it.
I've spoken to athletes before when they've had injury recovery. It can feel like a bit of a lonely chapter sometimes, can't as well. But have you had people around you supporting?
Yeah, definitely. It can take a toll on you very, very much mentally. And I've got a good support group around me within the club, and I'm working with a psychologist, which has massively helped me this year. From last year, maybe not going as how I planned and leading into burnout, I think you need those people around you to support you, because you've got people out there who just want to see you perform and get the medals, and then you've got the tight net around you who want for your mental health more than your physical and output in the racing.
So here we are, first day of July, we're sitting here ahead of the World Championships and the rest of the World Cup. What are the targets you're setting out for the rest of the season?
So I'd be beating myself if I didn't say that I would love to go to the World Champs and bring home the title. It's something I set out to do last year and I fell short. So this year I'm definitely itching to get those rainbow stripes and stand on top of the podium. And then going into the end of the year, we've got Olympic point races, which are massive, going into LA. So be looking at getting selected for them and getting points for the country.
What do you think it will take to achieve those goals?
I think just consistency within my racing and just showing that I'm dedicated and keep doing what I'm doing, basically. Nothing changes and just staying dedicated to it all.
How much would it mean to you to get selection for Great Britain for LA 2028?
Huge. It's been my goal since I started. I'll be 20 when it's LA 2028, and that would be the absolute dream, to be selected and represent the country.
Amazing. Well, we've got our listeners here on BBC Essex that may be thinking about BMX and think, maybe it's a great thing to get into. What would you say to them?
Yeah, definitely. Come down, have a look. Come down to the track. We have sessions on Saturdays, racing on Wednesdays, and definitely give it a try. Like, it's not only good for you physically, but it's also massively beneficial mentally, and with the group of people you have around you, make so many new friends.
That is Freya Chalice of Braintree BMX Club, who is currently competing in the women's under-23s category of the BMX World Cup, and as we speak is on her way to the other side of the planet to compete in the World Championships in Brisbane, Australia. They take place from the 17th to the 25th of July, with Freya going for the junior women's title. Best of luck to her with that. Stay with us as we continue to talk BMX here on BBC Essex Sports. You'll have heard me speaking to BMX racer Freya Chalice, the Holstead youngster coming out of Braintree BMX Club. But she wasn't the only young talent I spoke to at the club as well. 16-year-old Heath Thomas was also there, taking part in a race evening that they do on a Wednesday evening and during a Saturday day. And he just got back from a very exciting competition.
So last weekend I was at the European Championships in Sarians in France, and I placed 3rd in the 16-year-old category. I kind of turned up being a little bit optimistic, and as the day went on, I started to think, I could do well here. So by the time I got to the final, I was ready.
When you crossed the line and knew that you got that 3rd place, how did you feel?
It was amazing. I was screaming, it was smiling, everyone was patting me on the back. So yeah, amazing.
Heath, take me back to how you first got into BMX racing.
Braintree posts a lot about what they do at the club. They have a lot of introduction sessions for people at like the age of 5 or 6. And I think my mum saw one of these and thought, seems like something Heath would like. So I came along and I was hooked instantly. I've been riding a bike since I was about 2. My mum's a big cyclist and I loved it.
Well, you say you were hooked straight away. What is it about BMX racing that hooks you in?
I think it's mostly like the speed, the fact that it's so close and anything can happen in a race. So it's just, the adrenaline is insane.
Obviously Freya Chalice here, who's going for world championships as well. What sort of example does having people like that around set for you?
I've been training with Freya for years and she's pushed me, I've pushed her. It's just, yeah, great to help. It's like you literally help each other by being fast. So.
And we know Freya's going to Brisbane in Australia for the World Championships. I mean, you could have been doing as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a bit too far. And for something like BMX, there isn't that much funding, so it's tricky to get the whole way across the world.
Yeah. I mean, there must be some frustrations there for you. Do you think there's more than can be done for funding those sorts of things?
I definitely think so. I think making BMX a bit more well known, because it's a bit of a niche sport, not many people, and something like this will really help.
So I've got to ask then now, top 3 in the European Championships in your category, what's the dream? What's next for you?
Well, hopefully I'll be on the Olympic development pathway for the Great British Cycling Team, and then, as it says in the name, the Olympics is the final goal.
That's 16-year-old Heath Thomas of Braintree BMX Club talking all about coming 3rd in the European Championships in his category and with real ambitions of reaching the Olympic Games. If you're listening to that interview and you're thinking, what are those beeps and that thud? Well, if you imagine BMX racing that you would see at the Olympic Games, they all start from an elevated position. You've got 8 races or so really close to each other. The beepers are almost like in Formula 1 where you have the lights that go across the board and then turn green, and the thud is the barrier that's come up to hold them in place, then rolls back down to ground and all the bike riders just fly off and away they go. So that's what you can hear in there. Someone who has worked closely with both Freya and Heath is Braintree BMX Club head coach Julian Allen. He said it was an absolute buzz to see people getting stuck into the sport at the club, and told me why it was such a special place for him.
I started here when I was 10 in 1984. So being here now at 52 and kind of running the show, if you like, it's hugely sentimental place for me, and yeah, just seeing every week we do this every week, and this is what we do. It's just fantastic. The sport of BMX, how much it's grown in the last 40 years, and seeing the riders coming through, kids now who were 10, 11, the age I started, knowing that in 40 years' time, if we're lucky, they'll be here doing what I'm doing now. So yeah, hopefully we can build that legacy.
I've been speaking to Freya and how well she's doing. How much pride do you have in what she's doing?
A legitimate homegrown talent, I suppose, is probably one of my proudest things, I think, here at the club. We've had Freya, we've got a few other riders boiling in the background, some of the younger lads. We've got Heath, European number 3. We've had various world champions over the years, and having that time to watch these kids grow. I first met Freya when she was 6, Heath when he was 5, a few of the other lads, and now seeing them as effectively adults, watching them having gone through the whole of their life in BMX, seeing the level that they're now competing at, not just flying the flag for Braintree, but flying the flag for England when they're out on an international competition. So yeah, it's everything I've always worked towards, as I've been a coach here now for 15 odd years, and we always had a plan that we could turn the club into one of the most competitive in the country, and having riders on the international stage effectively being one of the most competitive in the world, that's it's really special. We also had Beth Shriver. She started here with us when she was 8, and obviously has now moved into Manchester. She's been Olympic, not just an Olympian, but an Olympic gold medalist, 3-time world champion, effectively one of the most successful female cycling athletes in the country. So we have got a pedigree of producing that level of athlete. It does take a lot. There's a team of, it's not just me, but there's a coaching team with Gav and Josh as well, and the whole club, you can see it's a really good social place. It's not just building the athletes, building the riders, it's building a community where we can support each other, and I think that's a big part of it, having that support network in the background. Anybody can ask anybody for help. You need a spanner, you need a bike part, someone needs a lift, whatever that might be. everyone will help and support everybody within the club. So yeah, it's a really special place.
That is Julian Allen, the head coach of Braintree BMX Club. And it's really interesting to hear about how popular the club is. When I was there on the day, we had good 40 or 50 or so BMX racers across different ages taking on the course, and it was absolutely brilliant to watch. We're talking BMX racing here on our Sports Extra show, and whilst the success and the quality of the athletes that has come out of Braintree BMX Club is very clear to see, what's also obvious is how bright the future is looking too. I got chatting with some of the young bikers at the club who all seemed to have a common goal.
My name's Ethan. I'm from Essex and I'm 10 years old. It's just really fun, the friends, and I just love to ride my bike. Either the Worlds, I got 12th, or the British Championship, I won it. Felt amazing, like I couldn't believe it. I was screaming and everything.
Brilliant. And what's the dream for you?
To go to the Olympics.
Go to the Olympics. What do you think that would be like?
Really nerve-wracking, but I feel like I'll do well there.
I'm Edward. I live in Chelmsford and I'm 12. I just like doing jumps and manuals and all that. And national, my best placement is 4th. I was proud of myself.
Amazing. So what is the big goal for you?
Olympics.
Hi, I'm Rex. I'm 10 years old and I come from Cambridgeshire. Just got the love for the sport and it's just so fun. So I went to the World Championships last year in Denmark. Wow. And I came 34th. It was really good. Very nerve-wracking. Yeah, it was really good. Just got to focus on your own race and just pedal as hard as you can to get to that first corner first.
Brilliant. And then the big question, what's the big goal?
Hopefully to get to the Olympics one day.
I'm Jamie, I'm 10 and I'm from Braintree. Well, my friend was doing it, someone at my school, and it sounded really fun, so I came into it. I did the trials, I really liked it and I made some new friends, so I really liked it, so I kept coming, and I've been doing quite a few club races now, not the most, but I've only done club races so far.
Yeah. What is it you enjoy most about doing club races?
Probably meeting up with my friends and doing the actual races.
Nice. So what would you say to maybe what some of our listeners on BBC ESSEX, maybe they're thinking about getting involved, or maybe their children getting involved? What would you say to them about BMX racing?
It's fun, don't be scared. If you're scared, you can start slowing down and you won't try hard enough. Just get over your fear and you'll do well.
Good words to live by there, I would say. Brilliant to meet everyone during my evening at Braintree BMX Club. It was a huge amount of fun, and I'd highly recommend you listening back to this. Show will be available on BBC Sounds